Whissel Wednesdays here on KCDQ. If you ever want to connect with myself, my co-host Jason Hall, or any of the guests we have on the show, always shoot us a text message, 619-663-7355, 619-663-7355, or visit us online, whisselwednesdays.com. So we are joined here by a special guest with Cain Advisory Group. I've got Jim Sprouse, the VP over there. And so, Jim, we've worked with your company for a long time. Brian Cain, you know, the Cain and the Cain Advisory Group. You guys handle all kinds of stuff for myself, for our clients. You do a ton of work to help people out here in San Diego. So tell us a little bit more about what Cain Advisory Group is and what are some of the things you can do to help out our listeners.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'll just kind of ease into that by talking about my background real quick. I was 15 years running an insurance agency. I was not blessed being raised in San Diego to go through UCSD or anything like that. I was actually, like we said before, from Pennsylvania. I went to a small school. I have an environmental studies degree. I was in education. I jumped into sales like so many people do into an entrepreneurial path. I think Kyle, flowing a little bit about your path, or your history, some of the same. Maybe for you guys as well, it sounds like going into some kind of franchise, you know. So I was never schooled on management of business. I was never schooled on how to properly run a business and what that takes. So I was successful despite myself in insurance, but I never became good at running the administrative side of it. So over the years, through the school of...
Show me the money. Where's the money? So you made the money, you just couldn't hold on to the money. Is that what happened?
I didn't mismanage the money. I like that Jerry Maguire coming out there. That's awesome. I just administratively, it's not so much about, it's about how you operate your business. It's about the functionality of your business. There's a lot of necessary things that you need to do to effectively run a business. And my point about my past is, I became okay at it, and then I outsourced a lot of it, right? Which a lot of small businesses do. If you're an entrepreneur, you've never read Michael Gerber's E-Myth. It's a great book, and really, it's a great book. It's the basis of what Cain Advisory does. At the same time, I was actually pretty darn successful. I ran an agency. We got about 35, 40 agents. Did it over 15 years. Somewhat, if you will, retired from that. Looking for the next thing to do in life, I found Brian Cain at Cain Advisory Group, and I learned about this product that he had out there. Right, he had it organically grown through his clients. He hadn't really had a distribution to go out there business to business. Now with my 15 years, business sales, love it. Understanding that there were people like me all over the place that needed help. I am passionate about helping small businesses. There's a lot that you learn that unfortunately once you learn it, you've made the financial mistakes. I look back.
Tough lessons.
Oh my gosh, hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases. I look back, I had a CPA that was a nice guy. It was a family friend. I'm not going to say his name, although he is not in this city. But I asked many times.
Hey, we're live everywhere though. You know, with the internet.
Yeah, we're on iHeartRadio, man.
We're on iHeartRadio. They may hear us, so you got don't use his name.
I'll call him Tim because his name's Tim. But that's all I'm gonna say. But no. So what happened was, I asked him over the years, and I was a high income earner as an entrepreneur. Over the years, I became that as we grew in an agency. And I asked him many times, shouldn't I be go from a sole proprietor over to an S corp? He said, no, we'll get to that later. Well, I found out now, working with Brian.
You lost thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah. And risks.
And risk too. So I want to go back and invoice him six figures of what. And I asked, as a client of his, but no offense to people that process taxes or CPAs, but you have to be intimately involved with your client. You have to know what's going on. So as a small business owner, there's a couple options on how to handle your payroll, your accounting, your bookkeeping, your taxes, your tax prep.
So this product that you guys offer through Brian Cain and Cain Advisory, you guys kind of do everything.
We bundle it.
Right. Okay.
We bundle it. One value proposition of our company is we bundle it to save some money. And if we could bring it all in-house, where you're not paying your payroll company, your CPA, because they have high profit margins. There's nothing wrong with making profit. We all do, right? But by bundling it, it brings the price down a little bit. So for some businesses, they like that. It's one source. You can make one phone call. You have a problem with payroll. You have a problem with your books. One source. One person every time, right? But that's not the true advantage of working with us. The true advantage is Brian Cain is a tax attorney. So what we do is we take that data, right? Business is about data, numbers, crunching numbers. We take that data and we put a tax management plan around that. Some people might think just because they're incorporated, they have a C Corp, that that's the best option for them, right, tax-wise. It may or may not be.
And they may not be taking advantage of the other tax opportunities out there that they could avoid being taxed at a higher rate and different things. And
absolutely.
Maybe we get your wife on payroll, maybe we do this. There's a lot of different things I've learned over the years, and sometimes costly, as you're saying, Jim. So,
And yeah,
That's awesome.
it is, and it's really it's that advisor watching out for you, not having to pay more for it because again, it's part of the package service. It's someone that's doing your monthly P&Ls. A lot of small businesses aren't doing monthly P&Ls.
What's a P&L?
Exactly. Profit and loss ledger, yes. And what happens is there's a shoebox full of receipts at the end of the year. They spend a weekend trying to throw it all together to get it to the tax person, who really is just a processor at that point. In tax season, come on, they're just processing.
Do you know there's a company called Shoebox?
Is
You
it?
literally take your receipts that you pile up in your glove box, you throw them into a shoebox,
You ship it to
ship
them.
it to them. They scan
Yeah.
all of those receipts into a computer software and categorize them out. There's actually there's something for everybody out there. Somebody made a company for those people to just pile all the receipts and don't look at them.
Right.
But they're missing out on so much opportunity by not knowing where they're at on a month-over-month basis.
It is. It's what you do with those, right? So the first thing is, putting them in some kind of, a way to, whether it's an Excel or into QuickBooks, which we will gladly do for you to keep your books in order. But then you're right, exactly. What do you do with that data? Is it, how are you structured? There's so much more to it. And the final little bit I'll throw in the value proposition is that we work a lot with contracts as well. So and a lot of times small businesses, you're struggling. You're struggling to meet payroll. You're struggling to meet your lease obligations, to grow, to save what you can, to maybe buy a new piece of equipment. So you can't really afford the retainer on an attorney. So you might have a new contract come up, or you might have an issue with mold or water restoration or property you're looking at leasing. You come 2 months later, you find out, oh my gosh, I'm in the, so do you have an attorney? No, you don't have an attorney on
So
retainer.
you're only reviewing your own contracts and you're making some
Yeah.
normal mistakes that a lot of us business owners would make.
You wouldn't know that maybe somebody should have been redlined or somebody should have been an addendum too, right?
Right, and most of us don't even know you can actually take things out of a contract.
Exactly. And what is a red line, what does a red line do? Yeah, so there's so much to do beforehand even, but so I'm talking after the fact. There's so much stuff that goes down after. Now you have to put on put the retainer out there for thousands, but if you could have just had someone free as part of the service to write an email to say, hey, can you take a minute and look at this? Sure, contracts a lot of times are standard, but there's some things, as you're saying, Jason, you need a red line. You need to look at CYA, so that you can spend that time later, not in a lawsuit, but growing your business, being profitable. And that's really the value proposition of Cain Advisory is we bundle it all together, reducing the price, but then we have tax management plan, an actual plan with the client, and having a contract.
And Kyle, you've used them for quite a while, so I know.
A couple years.
Yeah. You being an entrepreneur and just growing your business and doing the stuff that which is real estate and helping buyers buy homes and sellers sell homes and buy and flip. That's your specialty. So they've really come in to really help you be, that business side, right? Have that kind of silent partner behind the scenes, not in your office, that you can call on to Brian and his staff and ask them any questions.
Right. I mean, they're a big part of my business. They're like another employee of my business because instead of me having to hire one company to do payroll, hire another company to do my accounting, hire another company to do my tax prep, having one person to do all of that, it's just a huge, huge time saver. The less, balls I have to juggle, the easier it is for me. And that's really the solution that they bring for myself, and they help a lot of my agents out and a lot of our clients too. I mean, Brian is a great, great expert when it comes to helping people who've been through hard times like a foreclosure or a short sale. A lot of people do those and they just want to shut down and curl up in a ball and not talk to anybody, but that's a time where they should be reaching out to somebody like Brian over at Cain Advisory Group or talk to Jim, and those guys can really be there to help those people out because the tax planning around an event like that starts at the time of the event. It doesn't start 6 months later when it's time to file your taxes. You really got to talk to a good accountant at the time of the event.
Well, it's a good thing Brian hired Jim, right? We can already see a personality. Brian's a CPA, he's a tax attorney, as Jim said, right? We had him on radio. He's kind of like Mike, real quiet guy, good guy, knows his stuff, but he's not, the crazy sales guys like Kyle and Jim.
Okay.
So congratulations, Jim. It's nice having you.
Can I make one more point on that because
Yeah.
it's something that's very important about the tax management and everything. There's a lot of companies out there, and please listen, if you're a small business owner and you are struggling, that's what the two gentlemen are talking about, you're not alone. There's a lot of issues out there, man. 2008 and beyond crushed a lot. Maybe you hung on the best that you could, and you pulled it together, and you made payroll, and you took care of the obligations, and you're back in growth mode, but you have to go back and clean up. I'm telling you, I go out there, I talk to a lot of business owners, I do a lot of networking, I knock on a lot of doors. They are out there. There are so many companies that need help. Offers and compromise. There's so many options out there. Don't stick your head in the sand. Don't think you're going to get to it later because you won't sleep. Your business is going to suffer. You put all this unneeded energy into something that we can help fix. You're not alone. There's a lot of companies out there. So the IRS is open, but it's about putting it back, getting the house in order, making sure you're starting today, doing something for your business, and as Kyle was saying, be an extension of your business. But then we can also help you with some
And it's
cleanup.
not that expensive. I mean,
It's not.
depending on what package you want, and stuff there. I mean, it's anywhere from a couple $100 up to.
Good point. It's customizable. So if you have your sister that's in-house as your accountant, think, I can never hire you guys because that's fine. We're customized. We'll work around whatever you have. Whatever, it's
It's
modular.
based
It's
on
modular.
need, what you guys need.
Absolutely.
So whether it's a couple $100 a month or whether there's a couple $1,000 because you're doing everything.
And I'll guarantee this on the radio, and Brian might kick my butt, but
I'm
whatever
sure he
you're
will.
paying, if you're outsourcing all that stuff, we'll beat that price.
All right, nice.
All right, I think that's sold.
Sold. I like that.
I think you just got a client over
I
here,
think this
Jim.
has got a client.
All right.
So yeah, if you want to connect with Jim Sprouse, VP over at Cain Advisory Group, just go on cainadvisorygroup.com or shoot us a text message and we'll get you connected. 619-663-SELL, 619-663-SELL. When we get back from the break, Jason Hall with Sierra Pacific Mortgage and I, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the real estate market as the summer season kind of tails off. We go into the fall and winter months. What you need to know whether you're looking to buy or sell a home here in San Diego. So stay tuned. You're listening to Whissel Wednesdays on KCDQ.